Hi YouTubers, and welcome again to the Darwin's Gift channel. I haven't been around for about 3 weeks because I've been really busy at work, but today I got a little bit of time. I can make a video at last. I have been keeping track of what's been going on, and thank you, by the way, to all the new subscribers, and it's been quite interesting how many new ones I've had. But today I want to go back and have a little look at the Church of England again. Good old Church of England. What have they done? Well, they've decided to apologise to Charles Darwin. Okay, he's actually dead. But they've decided to sort of admit that they were wrong and they shouldn't have persecuted him, and really they want to say sorry, which is slightly pointless, I've got to be honest. It won't make any difference to anybody, but it's a nice gesture, and let's look at it that way. It's a nice gesture. But of course they do like apologising for quite a lot of things. They've apologised for the Crusades before, and also for slavery. There was apologising not long ago. Well, you never know. What next? Apologising for perhaps burning and drowning witches. That would be a good one. But we know these things went on, and they're long forgotten, and there's no need really. There's no need to apologise, but it's very nice. Now, why are they doing it? Because Darwin's Day is coming up on February the 12th in 2009, and that's now going to be the 200th birthday of Charles Darwin, and of course the same year is 150 years since the publication of The Origin of Species. So that's the main reason I think they'll be formally doing it later on, if they haven't been laughed at too much by then. So it's an interesting aspect though. The Church of England does have a problem. The problem is most people from the Church of England do actually believe in evolution. And why not? It is a fact, and they are an embracing religion. Recently we saw that they were trying to embrace Sharia law to some extent, and halal meat and all this sort of stuff, which goes against the grain a bit. They're also trying to embrace, of course, girly bishops, and everybody's been really upset with the Church of England that's actually spiritual. So there's a lot of people been leaving. Tony Blair is one of them. And they've been turning to Catholicism. Yes, that well-known boy-buggering Catholics, priests. Bit rude that, I shouldn't really say that. They're not all boy-buggering priests, obviously. There are a lot that aren't. But there's an amazing epidemic of general paedophilia priests. Even this week, another one uncovered in Britain from the Catholic faith. Why is that? That's another thing, you see. The Church of England allowed its clergy to be married. In fact, in the Bible, anybody could be married. There wasn't this celibacy thing. I don't remember seeing anything about celibacy. But of course, that's why they didn't attract the same sort of priests that the Catholics did. So I'm not saying they won't have any, but I'm sure there'll be a lot less. Anyway, I digress. I was going on about the Darwin Day and the problems this causes. Now, the thing is, once evolution is proved, which it is proved, and once it's accepted by a church, and this is the difficult bit, once it's accepted, then they have a problem with the Old Testament. It's always been a problem. Genesis is a load of old tosh. Now, this is the general opinion of most people, even in the Church of England. And here it is, good old Genesis. I've got my Bible here. Now, what's wrong with that? Well, if Genesis is tosh, then most of the rest of it's fairly disproven as well. There's an awful lot of things, and it appears that, you know, snakes evolved, and they weren't sticks thrown to the ground and turned into snakes. It was an evolving thing. They weren't there in the Garden of Eden. So there you go. Now, this is the Old Testament. This is the Bible. The Old Testament here, this bit, the Old Testament. Now, why not just throw it away? Why not throw it away and leave us with this sort of small, thin, 200-page paperback called the New Testament? There we go. Well, why not? If it's tosh. It's the Jewish bit, obviously. Well, basically because this is the bit that Jesus believed in. So he may have died for it and said, okay, you don't have to believe it anymore. So in that case, why not just tear it out, you know? It's a tricky one, isn't it? It's a tricky one. And I can see the problems, and I can see why. Theists really do not like the theory of evolution. And of course, we have this sort of Big Bang machine now that might prove things differently as well, and that won't be very popular, but I might do another video on that one. Now, so there you go, the tosh. Anyway, so bear with me a second and I'll get on to the next bit. So anyway, if the Church of England has all these problems with its own thinking, then why do people stay with it? Well, of course, it's got to make money, hasn't it? The Church of England is the sort of place where you get christened into without your permission, and eventually somebody wants a white wedding and a marriage, so you tend to get married there. Most people don't go on a regular basis. You may end up having your funeral there, which you don't know about either, but it's not a regular thing for most people, yet they will still say they're a Church of England. It's something really to put on your census form, because being an atheist wasn't that popular generally for a while. So be interesting to see what the next census does. Anyway, that's enough about that for now, and I'm going to get back to you soon. I've got a few other things I want to make videos on, and it's really just a little hi video, and say I'm still around, and speak to you soon. Cheers.